What is going on in the cryptocurrency market? Why is Bitcoin pumping up 5.6% over the last 7 days, while altcoins, XRP, Bitcoin Cash, Binance, Chainlink, Polkadot, Cardano, Litecoin, why are they all seeing blood in the market right now? Is this just a sign of a new alt season starting? Or is Bitcoin dominance going to increase even further? Is now a good time to buy Bitcoin? If no, what would be a good price to buy Bitcoin at? We're going to cover this as well as a whole range of Bitcoin news about hackers donating tens of thousands of dollars of Bitcoin to charity, Cardano hitting first place ahead of Ethereum and Bitcoin, Cardano acquiring respect and esteem among the academic community, again Cardano taking the Japanese view of looking 50 to 100 years in the future. We'll take a look at Litecoin and find out if Litecoin's new privacy upgrade could provide a boost for the embattled altcoin. It has been suffering in terms of price action for the past couple of months. Very interestingly, Litecoin and Cardano have a partnership right now, potential collaboration, which we'll look into. We'll have a look at the Litecoin chart, the Litecoin price over here to see what's going on. Have a look at some quick Ethereum news because the testnets here are not looking ideal, not looking very good. There seems to be a lot of confusion right now. And Ripple XRP is in the news with the CTO claiming that XRP might be the bridge currency for all these CBDCs, these central bank digital currencies. In addition, there are some very strong signs that Ripple may be making a comeback here, according to Santiman's whale analysis. And finally, I'm going to comment on one of my favorite and most respected traders, Alessio Rastani. I agree with almost everything he says, but I very strongly disagree with one particular thing he said in this video. So if you watch this video until the end, you will find out what that is. If you enjoy this content and want to see more of it, don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit that notification button as it really helps to support the channel. Before I get started, I just want to let you know that I am not a financial advisor and that trading and investing presents financial risks. So before I get on to answering your question about whether or not we're starting a new altcoin season, let's just start off with the news, the Bitcoin news. So one of the most upvoted posts in cryptocurrency in the Reddit here saying that it is 100% technically possible to have fraud-proof voting on our mobile phones today using the blockchain. So according to Yang2020.com, Americans should be able to vote via their mobile device with verification done via blockchain. This would dramatically increase participation in all elections. I am almost certain that it is just a matter of time before this is digitized, and obviously blockchain provides a very clear use case for voting in elections. So I look forward to this and of course many other developments in Bitcoin and blockchain. Next, in some unusual news, hackers donate stolen Bitcoin worth $20,000 to two nonprofit organizations. So these two nonprofit organizations are the Water Project and Children International, who received $10,000 worth of Bitcoin, 0.88 BTC each. Now, interestingly enough, they actually said that they would refuse this donation, saying if the donation is linked to a hacker, we have no intention of keeping it. I'm curious, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that this is something they should do? Should they just accept the funds? Do you think this Robin Hood style donation is a good thing, a bad thing? Let me know down in the comments below. But in any case, a cryptocurrency investigator working with Chainalysis says that this paves the way for rampant money laundering. So obviously lots of pros and cons and drama around this story, but let me know what your thoughts are. Now, one of my favorite cryptocurrencies, Cardano ADA, is again on first place before Ethereum, ETH, and BTC. So Cardano has the highest developer activity this month, not the first time this has happened. And in case you're wondering, Ethereum comes in second place and Bitcoin is only in sixth place. So obviously Ethereum comes in second place largely because they have this complex preparation for the launch of the Ethereum 2.0 mainnet. But when it comes to Cardano, of course, they have further development on Shelley, which they're working hard on, as well as having initiated several developments on Voltaire. And then, of course, the launch of Goguen, which is much anticipated, will be released in a 3-phase release at the end of the year, is still to come. So it's really awesome, really exciting to see Cardano working so hard. And apparently significant progress with a node update version 1.19 makes the Cardano software up to 100 times faster in some parts. So nothing but good news coming from Cardano right now. Furthermore, Cardano's Ouroboros paper is the second most cited academic paper about cryptocurrencies and blockchain. So the paper is titled Ouroboros, a provably secure proof-of-stake blockchain protocol, and it has 183 citations. This basically means that a whole bunch of other academics view this as valuable and interesting information and are referring to this in their own academic research. So as you can see here, the academic community recognizes the value of Ouroboros. And while it was not the first academic paper to propose proof of stake as an alternative to the proof of work's insane energy demands, it was the first one to present proof of stake with rigorous security guarantees. For those of you who are wondering what is number one, well, it is Hawk, the blockchain model of cryptography and privacy-preserving smart contracts. This has 559 citations and presented a decentralized smart contract system that doesn't store financial transactions on the blockchain. But nonetheless, of course, it's great to see Cardano at number 2 in terms of recognition for cryptocurrencies and blockchain. Finally, very briefly, the CEO of the Cardano Foundation is setting a strategy for the next 50 to 100 years. Now, this struck me immediately as something that the Japanese are famous for. The Japanese are famous for thinking about the very long term. There was this book called The 100-Year Life, which the Japanese wrote. Initially, the West wasn't too interested in it, but as we progressed, the West and more countries are becoming more and more interested in this long-term plan. I think it's a very smart, very wise, very intelligent strategy to think long-term, especially in the crypto sphere, where most of these cryptocurrencies are only thinking about what's going to happen in the next year or 2 years, if that. So as mentioned here, they're pursuing a strategy that will allow the project to survive for the next 50 to 100 years. And I certainly think that they're creating solid foundations for that by having everything academically backed, by really rigorously analyzing and studying what they're doing before launching it. So according to the CEO of the Cardano Foundation, Frédéric Grégard, we will see on the short term a range of third generation blockchains succeeding. Of course, Cardano, don't forget, is a third generation blockchain, Bitcoin being number 1, Ethereum being number 2. Being able to prove that they tackled the famous problems we had around the first and second generation blockchains. So IOHK has taken a step back towards creating a more secure architecture than other blockchain projects. So basically, if you're holding Cardano for the long term, you don't have too much to worry about. And finally, Grégard says something which I very much resonate with. I'm very much looking forward to Cardano launching its full potential and its full product so that we can actually start testing that in the enterprise environment. All great stuff. I really love everything to do with cryptocurrency, blockchain. I love new tech, and Cardano seem to be creating this solid base, these fundamentals which are required for enterprises to actually take them seriously. Now, of course, the Cardano price ADA is down 5.4% over the last 7 days, but this is just an altcoin cycle. And if you're invested in the solid altcoins, then when altcoin season does start again, I personally think you will see some pretty good rewards. Now, will altcoin season start now or shortly? I will discuss this, of course, later on in the video. So stick around for that. Next, we briefly discuss Litecoin news. Litecoin relaunches Mimblewimble testnet as Europol targets privacy protocols. So unfortunately, Litecoin's Mimblewimble testnet was already launched on September 30th, but was postponed due to low community participation. But now, of course, we have Europol calling out privacy coins and naming decentralized marketplaces, cryptocurrency mixers, and anonymizing wallets among the top online organized crime threats. I personally find this despicable. I think traditional finance is the biggest crime threat. Banks are online, so obviously they are facilitating the largest online crimes in the world, but hey, that's just my opinion. So according to the Internet Organized Crime Threat Assessment Report, they say that Monero, Zcash, and Dash are emerging as the most popular privacy coins, but they identify Litecoin and Ethereum as the two most popular altcoins on darknet marketplaces. Let me guys know what you think of that. Obviously, it's great that crypto provides freedom. Do you believe that, anybody should be able to transfer money to anyone for any reason? Do you believe that we should have some systems in place to be able to intercept that? It really does raise some questions. I mean, if you're sending billions of dollars to someone else so that they can create a nuclear bomb which is going to destroy half the world, would you want to stop that from happening, or would you just want to have full freedom of money? Very interesting topic to discuss. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Then next in Litecoin news, connecting with Cardano, Litecoin and Cardano exploring Velvet Fork partnership in a potential crypto collaboration. So of course, this hasn't happened yet, but they're talking about using the features such as cross-chain communication, smart contract capabilities, and improved scalability. So according to Litecoin Foundation project director David Schwartz, him and his team have had a number of informative exchanges with Charles's team. So feel free to read this article on dailyhodl.com to go into the technicals of how this will all work. But basically, Litecoin could be used in smart contract platforms by using this non-interactive proofs of work, or Nipo POWs. It sounds pretty Japanese. Now, Litecoin price unfortunately has been suffering quite badly. And what I mean by that is that, Bitcoin retraced, Ethereum retraced, Bitcoin is almost at its previous local high again of 12,500, but Litecoin is right now, the Litecoin price is at $48.65. It has a long way to go before it gets to its previous local high of $68.75. In other words, it just hasn't retraced nearly as much as Bitcoin, or even as much as Ethereum for that matter. So the Litecoin price certainly has to prove itself, but obviously it's great to see that there's some development going on in Litecoin. Now, before we get on to XRP Ripple news and the new altcoin season potentially starting, here's some news about Ethereum. Validators drop off Ethereum 2.0 testnets as mainnet release looms. This is just yesterday, according to Coindesk.com. Now, there's some confusing aspects of this news. They say that if testnet participation is any indication, Ethereum 2.0 validators are itching for the real thing as the network kickoff looms. However, only 36% of the necessary 66% of participants needed to secure the Medalla testnet have stuck around. So it seems that there's not quite enough participation, but nonetheless, William Foxley here seems to think that this indicates that these validators are itching for the real thing, for the actual mainnet. Furthermore, the recent Zinken testnet had just under the 66% needed to function properly. So apparently there's been some user confusion around which testnet they should even run. So maybe that's why they've been switching from testnet to testnet. It doesn't seem like there's not enough people to test it. It just seems as though there's not enough people on one testnet versus the other. But in any case, ETH 2.0 developer Ben Edgington says that we should be expecting news about the deposit contract any day now. That, of course, is the ETH 2.0 staking contract, which would allow you to stake your Ethereum. Now, when it comes to Ripple XRP, the Ripple CTO says there won't be one world fiat, but XRP might be the bridge currency. Of course, according to the CTO, he's naturally going to be biased. But in any case, the Ripple CTO predicts the creation of an ecosystem of assets in which XRP and others will be key. He says here that XRP Ledger and XRP were designed to serve as a jurisdiction-neutral assets. So he talks here about the central bank digital currencies taking up much of the attention in the crypto space and the possibility of the emergence of a global stablecoin and the role of the digital asset that XRP would have in that context. So basically he's saying that XRP would be able to facilitate the liquidity between CBDCs and other stablecoins due to the fact that it's a neutral jurisdictionless asset. When asked whether XRP or XLM would solve this problem, he says that there will not be just one and that there is room for multiple solutions here. So Stellar XLM, of course, could also fulfill this role. So feel free to read the rest of this news on crypto-news-flash.com. Now, in terms of hard numbers, according to CryptoBriefing.com, Sentiment's Holder Distribution Index adds credence to the bullish outlook for XRP. The behavior analytics firms recorded a considerable increase in the number of addresses holding 1 to 10 million XRP. Now, I confirmed this by heading over to app.sentiment.net. It's a great platform for checking out statistics. You can check out the link down in the description below to check out this platform for yourself. In any case, as you can see here, pretty much all of these categories are going up. Everything from 1 to 10 coins to 1 million to 10 million coins. All of these have been going up over the past sort of 2.5 months. And during that time, the XRP price has gone from about 32 cents all the way down, well, it went all the way down to 22 cents, but currently it's still much below that 30-cent figure at 24 cents. But regardless, you can see all of these colorful lines are going up, meaning that more and more people are accumulating and hodling XRP. Now, if we just go to the biggest whales over here, basically 100,000 to 1 million, 1 million to 10 million, you can also see this trend line very clearly, especially the 100,000 to 1 million, very clear upwards trend here. So obviously the whales are doing something different than what a lot of people are doing, and this could be an indication that the XRP price is going to pump. Now let's get on to one of my favorite traders. I have immense respect for Alessio Rastani. He has great videos explaining concepts in a very simple and straightforward way. However, he mentioned one thing in a video today which I strongly disagree with. He's saying here that the leading indicator for Bitcoin is the ETH-BTC ratio, furthermore saying that because Ethereum hasn't been pumping as much as Bitcoin, that we should be worried that Bitcoin might retrace. Now, while I do think there are some reasons to think that Bitcoin might have a small retracement in the short term, I do not think that this is a leading indicator for Bitcoin, and I'm going to show you exactly why. So very briefly, what Alessio Rastani is presuming is that because Ethereum has not passed the $400 level, because it's basically struggling below its previous resistance, that we should be wary of Bitcoin pumping further, that because people are not confident in Ethereum, that the confidence in Bitcoin may be somewhat irrational. The problem with this statement is that in the past, we have seen massive Bitcoin bull runs while Ethereum has stayed basically stable. Let me show you when this happened. Look at this period between June 2017 and December 2017. The price of Bitcoin went from $2,500 all the way to $20,000 between June 2017 and December 2017, all right? Bitcoin basically went up by about 715% during this period. Now, if you compare this to Ethereum, Ethereum price went from $349 up to just $760. So remember, we had about 715% pump for Bitcoin. Ethereum barely went up 100%, so almost 7x less returns than Bitcoin. Not to mention that for the first many months of this period, Ethereum was actually going down or going sideways. So I think it's entirely possible that Bitcoin will go on a massive mind-bending pump while Ethereum stays absolutely stable. And another graph to show how powerful Bitcoin can be versus Ethereum, again looking at this exact same period between June 2017 and December 2017, you can see that Ethereum versus Bitcoin lost 87% of its value. Guys, that means that if you had all your money in Ethereum instead of Bitcoin, you would have lost 86% of your value in Bitcoin. So that just goes to show that ETH-BTC is not the leading indicator for Bitcoin. Bitcoin will do its own thing. That being said, I certainly do not mean to bash Alessio Rastani, but obviously analysts will have different opinions, and this is just my opinion. I suggest you guys follow Alessio Rastani. He has a great way of explaining TA for beginners. Okay, but now here is the burning question for all you altcoin bag holders. Why are we in the red? When are we going to start pumping again? Well, first of all, why are we in the red? Because of market cycles. This just happens in crypto. It happens in every industry. There's going to be a lot of bullish news, but the market just doesn't move because we are not at that part of the cycle. Markets move in cycles. Right now, all the focus is on Bitcoin with all the talk of interest rates, of inflation, of CBDCs, of the huge US national debt, of political crises around the world. All of these things are where Bitcoin comes to mind. So for the foreseeable future, for the next week or several weeks, I personally think several weeks, Bitcoin will be king. That's just my personal opinion, of course. Now, in terms of when we can see a potential pump for altcoins, well, I've mentioned this in a previous video. I think that ETH-BTC will have to see a further retracement, a calming down of its ratio, and fall about 10, maybe 15% before it can start a new pump. Now, if Ethereum does lose 10 to 15% of its value compared to Bitcoin, then I believe that we have a good chance of starting a new altcoin season. Furthermore, although we did see this 700% pump for Bitcoin, while Ethereum saw merely a 100% pump back in 2017, I think it's highly unlikely that we will see something quite as similar to that this time. The reason for that is quite simple. I think it's very improbable that Bitcoin will go past 20K and just keep on cruising as if nothing has happened and make certainly a 700% would be insane without any sort of major retracements. And of course, if Bitcoin does make a major retracement, if it does consolidate for a while before breaking all-time highs, which I think is very likely, then another mini, if not a major altcoin season will start. Guys, I've made most of my money trading crypto off of trading altcoins the past few years. I do think they provide much higher returns, but it is important to be aware of when narratives are shifting. And right now, for the past several weeks, I've mentioned it on the channel. Subscribe to our channel if you want to hear about these updates. I made this video, Urgent Bitcoin Taking Over, a week and a half ago. I hope you guys watched that video. And again, I personally think that Bitcoin will be king for the weeks to come. Now, Adam Lamb here, who often comments on our channel, asked, what's a good entry point for a new Bitcoin hodl buy, please? Now, I said I didn't want to guess exactly where that would be, but I'm going to give you guys some indication for where might be a good time to get in. First of all, I don't think now is a good time to get in. It's probably one of the worst times to get in because we are very close to resistance. First of all, the $12,500 level is the previous local high. Number two, the daily is overbought. The 4-hour time frame is overbought. The 1-hour time frame is overbought. So it basically means that the market should cool off before making another big move up. Now, in terms of when would be a good price to buy, I don't know exactly where the bottom will be. Of course, nobody does. But one tip I can give you is to have a look at the RSIs. If you look at the 4-hour RSI over here, you see that every time it went to approximately the sort of 43 down to the 34 region, certainly if it starts coming to the 43 region again, it starts becoming interesting. As you see in the past, we saw a pump here when it was at 10,574. Again, we actually broke a little bit below that, but this marked the bottom. It basically didn't get below this 40 mark too much, or certainly not for very long. And then again, we came to this 40 mark, it not marked another bottom. So I would personally wait for the 4-hour to get back to that level. That in addition to the major structural level, which of course is the $11,150 level, marking many previous highs and lows on the chart. If we get down to that level, that would be a good level to buy in. Of course, we're also looking at this channel over here. It's possible that this channel has a fake out and that we actually come crashing down, in which case at the bottom of this channel would also be a decent place to buy, especially if it correlates with this blue major structural support, especially if that correlates with the RSI getting to approximately 40. All right, guys, but that's been it from me for today. This has been Frank from Altcoin Buzz. I hope you liked the video. Leave a like if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you're into everything Bitcoin, Ethereum, blockchain, cryptocurrency. And with that being said, guys, I will see you in the next one.